Hello and welcome to lesson 1 of week 1. In this lesson, we are going to look at the Bootstrap framework. My name is Mildred. Now, this is the first lesson of the front-end frameworks course, Bootstrap and React, and we are going to look at Bootstrap in this lesson. Bootstrap is a popular CSS framework, and for those of you who have taken the Cascading Style Sheet fundamental course, we are building upon that to look at how the Bootstrap framework works for us to be able to build fast user interface, to build responsive web design, to integrate Bootstrap with React, and also to build real-world applications and also build modern UI architectures. Now, this course is for those who want to get a job as a front-end developer, and for those who want to learn modern front-end framework development, or anyone that wants to learn practical UI building experience with all the best practices. Now, in this course, we are going to have graded assignments. We have hands-on projects and assignments. Assignments take 60% of your total grade, and we have quizzes at the end of each part. Part 1 is for Bootstrap, Part 2 React. At the end of Part 1, you have a Part 1 quiz that takes 10% of your total grade, and at the end of Part 2, you get a Part 2 quiz that takes 10% of your total. The final examination will take 10% of your total grade. We have a final project that will also take 10% of your total grade. So at the end of this course, we hope that you'll be able to build responsive layouts using the Bootstrap grid and all the utilities we have. You'll be able to use React components and hooks. You'll be able to deploy a polished and professional front-end project. We're going to have step-by-step demos and code walkthroughs and best practices guidelines, and then we'll have weekly hands-on exercises that you have to submit. So Bootstrap is an open source CSS framework, and we use this to build responsive websites. Responsive web pages will automatically adjust to look good on all devices regardless of the screen size. Now, the latest version as of this recording is Bootstrap 5, and all of the latest releases of all the major browsers support Bootstrap 5. Bootstrap 5 doesn't use jQuery like the earlier version, it just uses vanilla JavaScript instead. As we go along, we're going to discuss the JavaScript part of Bootstrap, but we're going to deal with using Bootstrap from a content delivery network. So anytime we have design projects or want to build a front end, we can use Bootstrap to quickly have design with minimal customization, and we will be able to have a responsive web page. So Bootstrap works by using CSS classes for styling. So we have grids, we have spacing, we have colors, buttons, components. It has JavaScript components for interactive features like modals and drop-down and carousels. We also have responsive breakpoints that uses mobile first layout control. We have browser compatibility with all major browsers, and also the core of the framework consists of mobile first styles. So for us to include Bootstrap in the head area of your HTML document, you want to include these two lines, and you'll find this in the Bootstrap documentation where you find the CSS link and the JavaScript link. These two, you put this in your link real style sheet, and your href will link to this URL, and this will be in your script tag, and this will be the source, and that is what we have here. Alright, so refer to your lesson resource and copy the code for the link. Now, once you have this in your head area, in the body now, you can start writing your content for the web page and apply style to it. You can also use Bootstrap as a local file or use node installation, that is for enterprise or large-scale applications. The first thing we're going to look at is containers in Bootstrap. A container is the root layout element in Bootstrap, and Bootstrap 5 requires a container to wrap site content, and so usually we use a div tag to create a container in HTML. Now, for you to understand this course, you need to have taken the HTML fundamental course. Now, for container, you use the class attribute with a value of container. There is another fixed width container that is fixed at different breakpoints. The container class is a responsive fixed width container at different breakpoints, and the max width property is set to change based on the screen size. We have the one that is 100% width. It's called container fluid, written like this, container fluid, like this. So every time you want 100% width, it spans the entire width of the viewport. You use container fluid like this. So you always want to have a container for you to start. Then you have container fluid that becomes fixed at a breakpoint, and this is how we write it. So let's say we have container. Let's write something here, and I'll say h1 is, let's just write fixed width container, and I'll use container fluid here. When I come to my web page and I refresh here, we'll see that this has its margin and padding, and this is fixed width, takes the entire width here. So you see the way the container is, and then the container fluid. We're going to see more examples as we go along. Jumbotron is a Bootstrap components that we had in previous versions, but Bootstrap 5 doesn't use Jumbotron anymore. We can use cards to replace that. Now let's say we want to have a container on the page. Usually in Bootstrap 4 you can put class Jumbotron like this, which is no longer supported in Bootstrap 5. So we can have cards that will replace that. I'm going to give you an example and we'll discuss what every of the style means. Let's say I have style P5 and I'll have MB4, PG Light. Don't worry about all of this, I'm going to explain them shortly. So I have these styles, and let's say I have another div here, and within this container field I want to put, let's put CY5 and I'll use H1. Let's say we have this example. This is what Jumbotron used to look like in Bootstrap 4, but in Bootstrap 5 we can use all of these different utility classes along with the container to create this. We can also use cards. So let's look at how this looks. I'm going to explain all what we have done there, all this container and all of the classes that I have written here, but I just want to show you an example on how it will look on the web page so we can see how everything looks using the different strap, utility classes and the card. Now let's talk about the cards so you can have an understanding of this. Cards are flexible content container for text, images. You can put your list there, you can put links and many things in the card. A card is created with a card class. I'll put, for instance, let me delete all of this. Let's start. Let's have div class equal to, I'm going to use container and I'll put div class equal to card. So we create it with card class. If you don't know what the class attribute is, you need to understand your HTML course for you to get an understanding of this. So we have div class is equal to card. When you put card, this becomes like card. The content is added inside of this. We use a card body. So if I want to add content, I can put div class equal to card body like that, and I close div. So I'll add content here. If I want to have a heading, I can use card header. So I can create another div class above this and have card header here to add heading here. We have other things to add titles, like we have card title to remove bottom margins for a paragraph, especially when it's the last child or it is the last line of the paragraph inside of the card body. We can use card text. We also use card link for us to have a blue color and over effect. So let's build something like a card that will have maybe an image and then we'll have information beneath it. So let's say I want to have this class card, and let me put a style here. Let's say style is equal to, let's have a width, and I'll put this width as put 18 rem. Now I want to have an image here. I have an image.jpg. I want to include that image, so I'll say image source is equal to image.jpg, and I'll use the class attribute. Now if we want to add an image at the top, we use card image top class. So it's written card image top like this. So I want to add an image at the top, and you can put an alt attribute and put a value there in case if the image doesn't load. Now we have the card body, we have card header. You can put a header if you want. Let's say I don't want a header and I want body, so within the body now I can type things. So let's say I want to illustrate the card title, which is what I will use to add title headings here. So let's use H5 and I'll use the class or card title. So this will give titles to heading elements, right? So let me just put my name here. Then we can also use the card text to just write a text within this body. So I'll put P class equal to card text, and let's say, and maybe I want to put a button to read more. I use class. We'll look at buttons in future lesson, but I just use that now to just create a design. Alright, so we've illustrated the different utility classes that we can use along with this card for us to create like a card, a flexible card on the page. When I refresh this page, you can see we have a card with an image and the name with the heading, the text, and then the button for read more. So you can see how we can create this. You can create cards like this. You can design it and change the layout of this card. You want it to be circular image and the likes. So you can have other values for the different classes that we use here. Like for the image, we use card image top. If we want the image to be at the bottom, you can put image bottom here. So I can take this and put this at the bottom so that it can reflect. So I have it at the bottom. We can add background colors to the card. Let's say for instance, if I had a header here, so if I say H3 class equal to card header close H3, and then I want to see instructors like this, and I want a background color. So without a background color, when I refresh, you will see it has a header here instructors, but I can add a background color to say BG and then the color I want. We have several colors to choose from. Refer to your lesson resource to see we have BG primary and see the different shade. BG success, it will be green, BG info a different shade of blue, BG warning will be like yellow, BG danger will be red, BG secondary will be like gray also, and BG dark, BG light. So we can do BG info to be a shade of blue, and then you see the background color for the header will be blue like that. So you can use that to do background colors there. For the headings, you see that when we have HTML, we have H1 to H6 heading, and so we have display 1 to display 6 classes that we can use for heading. So I can put this to be display 3 or 1, so you can do from display 1, display 2, display 3 to display 6. The biggest is 1, next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the least. So if I make this display 6, we'll see the text will be smaller here. Alright, so we have several formatting elements like we saw in the first example I did, where we have P, let's say like P class equal to, I won't use cut text, let's say lead is a formatting element, and you see how the text lead will appear like this. We can have class bold, FW bold, so there are different codes you use to know that. Now if we refer back to the first example that I did, anytime you have something that has, let's say FW bold, and or you have something like P5, or you have something like MB4, these are directional versions of stuff. When you see MB, you mean margin bottom, right? And then this 4, the amount is 0 to 5. Okay, 0 is none, 5 is the largest. When you see P, it just means padding. When you see the font weight bold, so when you see things like MT, that will be margin top. So M is for margin, P is for padding. This is like the font weight. Okay, so this is how you know the different place. If you have something like PX, you know it's horizontal padding. When you have PY, you know it is vertical padding. So the code tells you exactly what you are adding there, what's margin and stuff. So these are the different meaning of that. Okay, all right. So you can also have a border. Let's say we want to have this card now. Let's put a border, and we'll say we want to have border, and we'll have border primary. So you always have muted, primary, secondary, info, warning, danger, white, dark, body, light. You refer to your lesson resource to see the different ones. So primary will be like a shade of blue, and when you have this like that, let's say we want P3, and when we refresh our page, we'll see we have a blue border here, and we have a padding, and we put 3 for it. Although we see the image doesn't fit in the container, but we're just illustrating this. You can have rounded border, and when you want to have that, what you do here is instead of border here, you put rounded, and then let's say rounded border, and let's just use P3 like that. Okay, and when I come here and I refresh, I have a rounded border around it. Now because I put a fixed width here, we can see that this is fixed. If I remove it, it will fit in better. All right, so you play around with this and see how it goes. So because it's not a fixed width, we can see how it is. All right, so when we have a rounded border, that is how it is going to be. We can have the buttons like we did here. You use BTN, and if you want primary, BTN primary. So the same thing if you want secondary, you make it like a gray ash kind of color. So you see the button here is primary. This is how the color of primary is. When I refresh, you see it gray. If you use danger, it's going to be red. So this is just the syntax for the different button colors. So you decide what you want. You can apply any custom color you want, linear gradients, whatever you want to use. So this is where we end this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to look at a lab for us to build a mini landing page and see how we can tie this all up together. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.